Before we dive into the landfill of weirdness this week, the website is back, baby.
You mean the glorious return of gildedtrash.com?
Exactly. The digital dumpster fire has been rebuilt and it is live. You can find all of our socials, binge our YouTube, and send us messages. Yes, even your weird uncle's ghost story. And of course, links to our merch.
Which means if you've been dying to wear our logo on your chest, like some of you have, I know, drink coffee out of one of our mugs, use one of our beer koozies, or class up your desk with a Stay Trashy sticker, now's your chance.
Yep, and the best part, no more is the site down again. It's up, it's working, and it is your one-stop shop for all things trashy.
So that is gildedtrash.com. Go check it out before the squonk cries another river.
Yeah, we riding dry track talk, cat talking gold. Scott and Alanna on the mic, stories unfold.
Do I look like I'm squinting?
No, not to
Okay.
me, Squonky Tongue Man.
I
Squinty
know.
Tongue Man.
Do you love it?
Yeah, no, I love that. Squonky Tongue. A honky tongue. A honky. One time my lip almost, when I was in school, one time I thought I was turning into Elvis and I was getting that thing because uncontrollably in school one time my lip went. I was just sitting there and it did that. And I was like, uh-oh.
So, like,
I
your
got the
lip
sugar.
and then your eyebrows started doing the rock. You were like all over
Yeah.
the place.
I can't do that today. See? It's gone.
It was because you had a headache that day. It was something about the headache. You had a nerve disorder.
I can't do it. Last time it was uncontrollable. I couldn't.
Now you just look like Popeye.
I can't do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was just reading my book by L. Ron Murphy, Goblintology.
Oh, Ron Murphy, get out of here.
L. Ron Murphy. I love that. That's way better. If I was him, man, I'd just flip that around right there. Hi, nice to meet you. L. Ron Murphy.
So corny. What are we talking about this week?
I have no idea. There was something I was just getting ready to ask you.
Well, I will start off by saying that this is another fine t-shirt by Cryptology. I've already watched it, like
Cryptology.
Cryptozoology or something like that.
Cryptoteology.
Thank you.
Cryptoteology. There we go.
I say it wrong every time, but I've watched this one like 5-6 times already, and it's still great. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's a great shirt. I love it. I can't stop it. It makes me want to watch wrestling. I saw the Honky Tonk Man live once
I don't remember that one.
in Hagerstown Speedway. Honky Tonk Man. I saw Honky Tonk Man live more than once. I saw him at Saturday Night Main Event down in like Capitol Center. It used to be. Now it's like whatever it is, like the arena in DC. And then I saw Pap. It was one of my greatest childhood memories. Pap, Dad, and me went on a bus trip down there. And there's very few things that I ever went outside like that I did with Pap, like out in the world, other than like grocery shopping or something. But it was so what I remember most about that day, I mean, of course, other than the event, well, first off, I had popcorn. I do remember that. You know
But
me.
did it have butter?
I'm sure it probably did. I don't remember, but it wasn't a gripe that I had at the time. Uh, but what I remember most is prior to, so this is the event happens at like 8 o'clock at night. So the bus trip, I'm just going to say left at 6 in the evening, 5 in the evening, I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it was like the middle of the afternoon, like 2 o'clock, and Dad was like, "You need to take a nap." I mean, I was little, probably 5, and Dad was like, "You need to take a," maybe even younger, I don't know. You need to take a nap because we're gonna be, you know what I mean. We got a long night. You need to take a nap, and I remember. And I wasn't tired, obviously. So I remember trying to fake that I was sleeping. I put my hand up on the couch and I would let it slowly fall down so that I was trying to trick Dad into thinking that I was actually sleeping,
Do you
falling
think you're
asleep.
strict?
No, I don't think he was tricked. If I remember, I got in trouble for not taking a nap and trying to stay up or
That's right.
something. But
So, what did we do this past week or two? I mean, we've just been driving around a lot more.
we've
We
been
had
all over
all
the place. We've had all kinds of things going on between comedy, family events, just exploration,
explanation.
exploration. Just doing a little of that. Yeah, we've been busy though, very busy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that I had all that free time on my hands, but I could still cram more. And if you ask me, I'm always looking to cram more in. But yeah, I mean, we've been everywhere, but we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things coming up. We've been putting some I can't talk today, research together in the background for like Becky's grave, Miller's church. So those things are
Mhm.
coming up. We're going to be going down to Point Pleasant, West Virginia in September for the Mothman Festival. Can't wait.
That's the
We
Mothman.
are
That's the Mothman gang sign.
the gang sign.
The
Okay.
Mothman gang sign. You see somebody, a fellow mother?
Okay.
You're wiggling your fingers too much. You need more of a wing movement.
Oh, see, you've been practicing that movement for a long time because you track American Eagles. So, or bald eagles. I don't know what are the ones in our area?
Bald eagles. Yeah.
Oh,
The
bald.
American bald eagle. And yeah. I don't know. There's a couple other kinds of eagles, but I don't think we have any around here. Golden eagles. We got Philadelphia eagles. No.
We were looking for eagles this past weekend.
I love a good eagle. I love a good eagle. I
Yeah.
mean, it's always cool to see. It's still, I mean, I know we see more of them, but what's crazy is like, so that's like a new experience in life because we talk about this. The bald eagle resurgence is one of America's great conservation stories because I mean, there was only what, like 60 of them left or something?
Yeah, I
And
think
now they're just, down at Conowinga, they've got a whole group of them. They got like what you would call a flock. Whereas I don't know what the word is for a group of eagles, like a murder of crows. I need to find that out. Squaggle eagles. Squaggle. We
squabble.
seen a whole squaggle eagles down there.
Well,
That
now I
sounds
know.
like a statement that's been said in Maryland before.
Are
Like
you sure
north
it's
of
not
Baltimore.
is it a clutch?
A clutch. No, I think that's turkeys. No,
It might
turkeys
also be.
clutch. A clutch is the second clutch. Remember, we saw it on that documentary. So a clutch of turkeys, if it's on its second clutch, it's already had one birth, given one round of, and it's then giving birth to that's a new clutch. So it's on
No, we
its
could be
second
eagles.
clutch.
We could have
Eagles
eagles
might
next.
clutch. They might clutch.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna find out so that you know. You'll know when I know.
No, but
Um,
we go to a lot of dams, so that's probably why we see a lot of eagles. We hang out by river, like we always see them, like dams, rivers, stuff like that. Well, I don't know. In Waynesboro, they're hanging out in the creek.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, quick break from the chaos because we need you, yes, you, to send us your weird.
Your cryptid sightings, your UFO encounters, your I swear this house is haunted moments, we want them all.
And don't just yell them into the void. Go to guildoftrash.com, click the contact link, and tell us everything.
This is your chance to make us pack up a car, drive 6 hours to the town that you live in or grew up in, and wander around in the dark while I question my life choices.
True story. If you've got a skunk in your backyard, a ghost in your attic, or just saw something in the woods that you can't explain.
We'll bring the cameras, the coffee, the bug spray, all of it.
The jerky.
The jerky.
Exactly, but we can't come to you if we don't know about it. I mean, that's true. Well, I've seen one in Waynesboro, but the most I've ever seen were in Conewango, and I don't think I've seen too many outside of that.
I don't think we've seen them in random farm fields throughout Franklin County and stuff. We've seen them up here. We saw one right by our house flying over this dusty ass river. You know what I mean?
Release the damn letters. Oh, they can't release the damn letters. I was doing all kinds of research on that.
I know you were.
Apparently, lightning fried a valve. Like lightning fried the clock tower. We need to turn back time on the whatever that dam is further up north from the Stony Creek, actually, it's south of Stony Creek, isn't it? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Look at the.
I forget who owns it now, but back in the day, the steel mill used to own it. And so it was like a family picnic place for the steel mill workers. And then like in high school, we rented it out after band camp to do like our annual band picnic before school started or whatever. It was fun. It's nice. They have a nice community swimming pool out there and water activities. Like outside of the swimming pool, they have like lake. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Well, it was back in the day. It is out by Somerset Lake.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
My only experience with water in Somerset County is that time we got busted for fishing without licenses. Not me, but that was at Queen Mahoney, though.
Gotta watch for the man. Man was watching for you that day. He was watching for you guys that day from a tree with binoculars. He took his job seriously. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as the drive-in police. It's not a dip.
First off, that's that guy.
I don't want to talk too much shit because they're necessary.
They're necessary, but some of them go in little power trips, just like anybody with authority. You know, it's like some cops. You know what I mean? As my grandma used to like to call them, little tin Hitlers. You give them an ounce of power, and they think that they're taking over the world. But yeah, watch out for them.
So, and coming up, we've got, again, I feel like we say it all the time. We've got comedy coming up. We're going to be traveling again. You've got so many things coming up comedy wise. It's like all over the spectrum as far as who you're with, that kind of stuff.
Right. It's all over the place. Just go check out the website. Go see it. Because it's so much. It's too much to talk about. I don't want to bore you with the details of who I'm performing with, where I'm performing. I'm out there doing comedy, people. Go see it.
Get out there and check it out.
I'm getting better. I am getting better.
Oh, I thought you said you were kidding. You are getting better. You're much better.
No, I'm saying I'm getting better. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So that was a fun thing that we did at the speakeasy at Gamble Mills.
Oh my God. Cool. Yeah, I just want to talk about that for a minute because first off, I want to do every show there. Because it's like, first off, I talk about this all the time. And so here's the elements that it has that make this a great venue for something like this. I'd watch a band there too. That's real cool. It's just a great little room. And so they have, what makes it great is, I say this all the time, people want to be comfortable. The more comfortable people are when they're watching comedy, the more likely they are to laugh. People that are I can't move my shoulders. The guy's got thorns on the arm. When you're packed in like sardines like that,
Yeah.
you're less
No, I
like I
agree.
know that I am. I feel that way. Like it's harder for me to laugh going to see like Nate Bargatze because you're always like in an arena. It's always like that's hard, unless I'm like on the floor in a comfortable like then I'm laughing. But when I'm uncomfortable, it's like I just want the show to be over. Same thing for music. It's like I love Tyler Childers and I love that show we saw at Bridgestone, but like I never again. Like it
Yeah.
was insufferable. And it's
Hold on a
like
second. Sally wants to go out. She's chirping.
I was fighting like Sid, and I wasn't making not a bit of sense. I told him to come up there, but I did.
You're a dork. Is Kyle in the camera right now? Is
No.
Kyle in the room? Oh,
No.
you didn't see it outside. My brain just started automatically singing, whoa, 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 whoa. A storm is coming. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Is it?
whoa,
Is the one
whoa.
coming?
Oh my God, it's dark out there. It looks
Ooh.
ominous.
I didn't think we had any rain in the forecast, but then again, we know how that can be.
It's like up over East Hills. Like it's really dark over there.
Um, but yeah, like back to the tight arenas, people wanting to be comfortable at a comedy show. If the shows that I've seen where it's the most successful in terms of like everyone laughing, it's where they're most comfortable. So,
Well,
and
one
I'm
of the
not saying
best,
it's got to be the lapse of luxury.
right.
You just can't be like uncomfortable, close sitting to people, like it's got to be an easy setup. And it's an easy setup there. Couches, chairs, loungers, people standing. And it's like the room is small, so the laughter really hits. And it's very intimate venue. It's almost like it's like MTV Unplugged for comedians or something.
That's exactly what it put me in the mind of was on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel when her and that guy were like riffing at a party and then
Yeah,
everybody was at the party with just sitting around with drinks in their hands like into the moment. That's what
right.
it felt like. It just felt like you were at a party chilling and all of a sudden you got up there to talk for a little bit. It was cool.
When they were trying to be
That's what I
second rate Nichols and May.
Well, that is exactly what I envision when I try to get you to go out for parties. That's the vibe I'm going for. Like people all just stopping, sitting around, gathering to listen to the Pied Piper.
Right. No, I get that. It's at a party is a little weird, but
But because of going to the speakeasy and I'm obsessed with the vibe of speakeasies because anyone that I've ever been to that is like that all has a really great ambiance in the room and they're all
mhm.
slightly different, right?
They
So
all have
this one
low
was more
lighting,
well lit. Yeah, this one
but it
was
was
more
still
well lit.
warm. It was fake fireplace, soft lights.
But do you
Yeah.
remember what I learned today?
No.
That the term speakeasy, while it was originally spoken over in England before 1889ish, they used to call bars speak softly shops, or pubs, I guess, over there, speak softly
What was the
shops. Or
reasoning behind that speak softly shop? What's that mean?
I didn't dig into that piece of it, but if I'm putting brain connections together, my brain understood it innately to mean that you're talking about the things there that you would have to speak quietly about in public.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. I'm
And
with
I
you.
could be totally off base, but that's how my brain did it. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to
I
go
mean
with
it
it.
doesn't matter. I was just curious what they meant by that. Like,
Yeah.
you know the
So
Brits and their
then
weird talk.
There was an article written in a Harrisburg newspaper in right around 1889 that touted McKeesport as the first place that anyone had heard it in the States. They were referring to an unlicensed saloon at the time as a speakeasy. And then I forget her name, but I'll pop it up here on the screen. The woman that one of the women who owned a saloon in McKeesport actually was famously heard, or lore, we don't know, as saying speakeasy boys, because they were rowdy in the bar or whatever. So that was before Prohibition. The Pittsburgh papers latched onto it then, and they started calling all unlicensed saloons speakeasies. So it was kind of a movement before Prohibition even started.
Well, that was my question was this was this prior to Prohibition? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's when we think of speakeasies. I mean, that's when the
Right.
term takes off. That's when it goes viral. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like it goes viral during Prohibition. Everybody, like wants to use it. But
Yeah.
no, it's just that's super fascinating. No, but it's great that it's cool too that it has like Western Pennsylvania roots. That's fun.
Yeah,
I
that's
love that
really
there's
fun.
some lady out there in the South Side. Just speak easy, boys.
Speak easy, boys. I can't even do it because in my
No, I
brain,
know.
it's not. So the woman's name, and again, I'll pop it up on the screen. But the woman, she was actually in my brain, she was German, so she had a very thick accent when she was yelling at the
She
boys
may
in the
have, and
saloon.
at that time in Western Pennsylvania, she likely probably had an accent. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a
Yeah,
Pittsburgh accent yet. That took
it
them many
wasn't
more
quite
years.
developed. It wasn't quite
I had to
developed.
go down there and work on it a little bit.
That's hilarious. Um, so this week's episode, I'm going to get into it. I know we've been spending the last 20 minutes pretending like we weren't going to talk about it, but this week's episode is actually a memorial for one Anthony Ray Barlup II, not Junior, the second. So September 19th of this year is the 15th anniversary of my son's passing. And we've talked about it before. We're going to talk about it a little bit here, but what I really want to weave into this tale, and we'll retell Lilydale, is just all of the supernatural things. Like this is always we talked about it last Halloween time, like leading up into Halloween. Paranormal is very much a part of or ingrained in Americana, or ingrained in folklore, and we grew up with it, right?
We were doing exploration before we ever even dreamed of even calling it a thing. We just did that. That's what we
Right.
did. So
Right.
we want to tie in some of those stories that we experienced with him, stuff that we look back on and connections to that and so forth, because it all ties together then with what we already talk about, which is a lot of paranormal, a lot of goofing around and crazy stories.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So I'm just going to give the shortest backstory I can even give on this, which
sure.
is there's a couple bullet points that really hit on, again, it's very thematic. There's the element of psychology involved, right? So I met Anth's dad when I was just turned 18. He was 19. So we were close in age. And we just had a teenage fling. It was a teenage romance fling. I didn't find out until I was getting ready to leave for college that he was suicidal as a person, right?
Right.
And that he had bipolar and manic depression. So, so I was leaving for college and I was trying to break up with him. And he attempted to commit suicide, and that was a trend later in life. So I try not to tell that story for a lot of reasons. One is that I'm very close with his family still, and I never want to paint him in a bad light. Anybody who knew Anthony Senior, Anthony the First, Big Anth, I forget what his nickname was in high school. Anybody that knew him knew he was just a light. He was always like up. He was always on. He was always cracking jokes. Everybody wanted to hang out with him. But when he was down, he was down. His lows were manic, and people, were afraid of him sometimes when he was low.
A
It
lot
was
of people
bad.
that are like that. A lot of people like that. I mean, that's literally classic bipolar. I mean, your highs are high and your lows are crazy low. So I mean, that's
Yes. Yes, that's exactly it. And I didn't know at the time or understand, I guess, at 18 that I was also
Right.
bipolar. And
Right.
so unfortunately, the two bipolars having a baby together was probably a toxic move looking back. But that being said, he was a great father. I mean, he was such a great father. He was so hands-on. We did have split custody, so he would have him 4 days and I would have him 7, then he would have him 7. So it was a rolling, weird custody arrangement.
Right.
And the
I
reason
mean,
why I'm
most situations like that are going to be weird. I mean, because at that age, I mean, you're just all over the place.
right. And when the custody arrangement went into place, he wasn't in school yet. So, but the only reason I'm bringing this up at all is because I've said I was going to talk about this since my son was 4 years old. There's still a lot of drama around it. I'm still going to figure out a way to memorialize it forever into a book or a TV show or a movie. But the road to hell is paved with good intent, right? And the Ford family, the Ford family, who I forever speak with disdain on my tongue, um, they wanted my son to be theirs. They wanted him to be their son. And so they took over his life after his father finally did end up committing suicide in 1998.
Right.
They had money. They had very well established roots in the community. And I'm not saying any of this to knock how irresponsible I was as a young adult. I was fucking
Right.
irresponsible. I was making really bad decisions as a young teenage mom. But at the
Right.
end of the day, they were grown ass adults with money and alleged Christians, and they should have not done that to our family. Because I think that part of the reason why my son did pass away is because they tried so hard to covet him that they broke his spirit. One, they made him wild out and they took away his identity. He lost both of his parents in the same year because they iced me out. And then
Right.
they tried to
Right.
raise
So that
him
just
as if
added that
nothing
on.
happened. Yeah. They tried to raise him as if nothing happened, as if this was all just normal, that to 40 something people were just okay to take somebody's son after he committed suicide because of their daughter. And then I'm just going to throw this out there too, because while I'm throwing allegations out and potentially getting myself in legal trouble, the reason why they even wanted my son to begin with is because they allegedly made their daughter have an abortion. The baby would have also been Big Anthony's, and she was only 16 at the time. And I was also pregnant with my son at the time. So rather than letting her have her baby and dealing with the dynamics of having two kids, they made her have an abortion and take my son. So,
Mm.
I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't have any hand in that because I signed custody of him
Right.
for a
No. I
purpose.
get it, but yeah, right. But anyway, I think let's get out of that messiness and get to where the story goes from that point. Then
Yeah.
is
So, but again, that needed to be said because
no,
that
I
story
agree.
is going to be fully documented at some point. All the dirty details, including the lawyer who is now disbarred, who they sent to break into my apartment and take pictures, which did indeed happen. That's not allegedly, that happened. So in that case, they were really dirty and dirty money. Like people with money and good intentions still do dirty shit. That's all I'm going to say on that. Um,
Right. No, I
so
agree.
so then when my son was 12, I actually got in touch with him on Facebook and we started talking and connecting and I was able to get custody of him. Long story short, he did not want to be with those people and he wanted to know and understand his family and be with his family. And all of his family is pretty fucking awesome anyway. So he came back with us. And by that point, he was a wild, wild, wild teenager, right? and you and I had just started
Wow.
dating maybe a year into me having custody of him.
Right.
So it was crazy. But so that's setting up the scene that we have at this time when Scott and I first started dating. My son was about 14. Um, so he had a pack of friends that came with him. They were all very different. He had skater
Well,
friends
first off,
and
just
but
back up just a hair there, because when we first got together, he, when did he get, oh, wait, that was, when was he at the place where we had to go visit him? That was later, wasn't it?
he was placed more than once.
No, I know,
Let's
but
just
when we,
say that.
no, I understand that, but when you and I were together and we had to go visit him in Chambersburg, remember, that was shortly right after we got together.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he came like back down to
Yeah. Then
like,
he was able, yeah, he was in a behavioral Christian home type place, a group home setting for a minute. Just again, because he came away from those two people with so many behavioral issues that he had when he was born. I know he did. And they just did not want to, I think they just never handled it the way that they should have. And
right.
so his behavioral issues were mostly in retaliation of not being able to have his real family. And then once he got around his real family, he was already like kind of over.
Oh, he was
So yeah,
totally and like he didn't have any regards for authority, discipline, structure, and
none
he
of it.
truly did not care. And like most kids, you can sort of like whatever trick them, bully them into the like no,
He
like
was smart.
he did
Well,
not care.
he puts me, he used to, when he got argumentative with me and he would be like, no, no, I'm not doing that. No, that was my brother through and through and through. He argued like my brother does. He
Right.
like Bubba was
He
right.
kind of looks a little bit like Tim now that you say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see
Well,
that.
that's
I
where
could see that. Yeah.
he got his hardiness, we'll say, from my
Yeah.
dad side of the family. So he has the stature of a skibo. He has the
Yeah.
build of a skibo. Now he has the height of both families because my mom's family, my dad's family, and his dad's family are all very tall, except for me and his dad. So that was kind of funny too.
Yeah. We are both the products of, I have plenty of tall family, but my
Yeah.
dad is a sure. Both his brothers over 6 feet tall. And my dad, he's like my height. My mom, now she's not. Her family's not tall, but they're taller than she is. She's borderline midget.
Awesome.
So you get them two little people, and what the result is short, stubby, fat guy here. So, but yeah,
Well,
no,
that's
it bypassed. He had that. He had that. The good stature from your family. So luckily enough, that worked
yeah.
out.
Well, all three of my kids are very, well, unfortunately, they're all big boned. So the girls, they need to watch their weight just like I do. Um, but we're just big people. Like, I obviously, like I said, I'm the shortest and I'm 5'5", but, both the girls are 5'9" or taller. Anth was close to 6 foot or taller. I couldn't even tell. They're all just big. I raise big things. I raise big. Everything I raise is big. My animals all get big and fat. My kids get big.
That
All
ain't
this.
true. None of our cats are fat.
No, it used to be a
It's
thing
surprising.
when I had goldfish, guinea pigs, and hamsters, that was the truth. But now that I have cats, it's not.
Well, which is so bizarre because almost everyone I know that has cats, they're fat. And yet
Like big.
somehow everything else that we hit, like, it's like, but the cats, they're healthy as can be. I don't know. I can't explain
They're
it.
healthy. They're just not blowed up.
No,
But
that's what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying.
mean,
They're not fat at all.
but his personality though, so getting away from the behavioral issues, but the behavioral issues kind of made him who he was. And it was,
Sure.
it was funny and endearing. Like it was embarrassing at times because he would walk around. And now I do have
In
to preface this.
hindsight, it's funny and endearing, but at the moment you're experiencing it, you're like, shut the fuck up,
Shut
motherfucker.
up. Like, so mind you, half of his friends were either black or Mexican or mixed race. And they would
I
walk
don't even.
around town doing Dave Chappelle. White power. I can't even do the voice. All of them would. It was fucking hilarious, but it scared the
They
shit
would
out of
call each
people.
other racial slurs. They were wild.
They were wild. If you've seen this pack of kids in the street, you like definitely cross the street.
100%. If you've seen these kids, you're like, how can I get as far away from possible from this pack of heathens that's coming my way? Because something's going to transpire. Like,
I remember one morning I opened up Facebook and there was like, I saw a video of him. It was at a bonfire and he was, I can't remember if he was just using the spray, but he was like blowing up a bonfire with spray to like make it shoot up and stuff like that. They were
right.
always doing like dangerous shit, like dangerous shit. He
Yep.
stole his grandmother's car and wrecked it in the middle of a cornfield one night before he had his license.
And the reason that we tell you all this, and then unfortunately, I mean, we do have to mention it. Like, I mean, this is all we already, talked about it, but then once he passed away, there's some things that happen afterwards that also like paranormal and stuff related that like come back into play with some of these stories, which is why
Yeah,
we're giving you
for
so much
sure.
background on this. That's what, like, we're not just, this is all essential for these stories.
It is a central part, but this is also his memorial episode, and I want people to know who he was. He wasn't
Oh,
just some kid that
absolutely. Oh, I mean,
died
that's the
at
beauty of it. Well,
16.
that's what I think that these stories highlight too, is his goofiness.
Yeah, I mean, he was just like everybody loved him. I mean, I'm going
Right.
to say that my son was handsome because he was my son. He was a good looking kid. Was he the most handsome kid I've ever seen? No. But all the girls loved him and it
Yeah, because of his
surprised me.
personality.
Yeah, like he got
Because
some hot girlfriends. That's all I'll
he's
say.
he was bad.
He
He
was
was
a
a bad boy. I don't like to say it like that because that sounds weird, but he was a bad boy. So, of course, the girls liked him. He was
yeah.
disruptive. He was that guy that, like, in the movies, that, like, he's like smoking cigarettes in school. And they're like, who's that? That's just Jeff. It, like, you know what I mean, though? Like, that's the person that he was that absolute rebel. But then the girls always like, oh, I shouldn't, but that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was insane. And oh my gosh, one time he talked his sister into doing Coracedons with him, as they referred to it, triple C's.
I don't even want to. But oh god,
Yeah, we thought Olivia was going to die. Like they had to charcoal her stomach. Meanwhile, he's standing up in the hospital, high as fuck, in her face, like, sister, why did you take that many? What are you doing? Like he was like weaving and bobbing, but he was totally fine. He did not
right?
even get. But I mean, again, I'm sure he had tried substances or whatever before.
Oh
So
my god.
but he did everything too. He was the every person's guy. He was a
Mm-hmm.
hunter. He loved to hunt and fish. He loved to do ATVs. He loved to skateboard, but he was fucking horrible at it. He played baseball when he was little. I can't.
He
I
just
think he might have
he
run.
wanted to experience everything, like whether all
Yeah.
the different things that you can do. He wanted to do them all, and he
Yes.
tried them all. He
Oh,
wouldn't stick to any of them, but he would try them all.
yeah.
That's just
Yes.
how he was an experiencer. He was one of those people. Like if he
I
had
mean, he
grown up,
got it honest.
he would have been on the what's that?
He got it honest. That's
I mean,
me.
sure, but yeah, but you're at a much more reserved level. He's the type of person that would have been on the show Jackass because he would just
Yeah.
be up for anything with like he didn't care. Like I don't put you
Well,
out
his
there as
dad
quite
would
as
have
being
been.
his. Yeah,
Yeah, his dad
yeah.
would have been Jackass. I would have been
Was
Jackass
more
Jason.
adventurous, more adventurous. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
wild, but you're a little more tepid in your when it gets to the dangerous things.
Well, now at 50, of course, but maybe not at
Right.
24, 25.
Right,
But
I know, but
anyways,
I mean, yeah.
to your earlier point, that really leads into the reason why we had to keep his brain occupied at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, because he was up. He was a teenager. He wanted to be doing things, and we wanted to accommodate that as much as possible without letting him run the streets wild at 1 o'clock in the morning. So every once in a while, we'd drag our asses out of bed and be like, all right, let's go have some fun. What do you guys want to do? And what did they always want to do?
Ghost hunt. What else would you
Ghost
want to
hunting.
do? Let's go to Miller's Church. Let's go to Pond Bank. Let's go to wherever. They all the usual haunts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They heard the stories and they wanted to go check them out. And what do you do when you're a teenager? You're curious about that stuff. So you want to go check it out. So we did, and we did indulge them on that aspect of it.
Yeah, we
Like,
did it
well,
like
I don't
several times. Like one time, and the reason why I say 12-1, 11-12-1 is because oftentimes he would just call us late and we'd already be up, or we'd be leaving, like we were out at karaoke or something. We'd be leaving karaoke and we'd be like, all right, we'll come get you. But one time he actually did get us out of bed and be like, come on, my friends want to go. And so we got out of bed and went. I mean, it was just whatever. I mean, we didn't mind it. I'm making it sound like those typical white people that give in to everything. We're the
know.
people that you can call on the phone and it's the wrong number and we'll come get you. No, we're not. We're
We'll
really
figure
not.
this thing out together.
Yeah, that's not happening. So that leads into so the night that he passed away, it was football season and I guess the local channels, this always happens to us, no matter where we live in Pennsylvania, unless you live right in Pittsburgh, the local channels don't carry all the games. So at Waynesboro, there were certain games where we would have to go out to somewhere else to watch the
There's
game if we
always
wanted to
one or
watch it.
two a year. There's
Yeah.
always one or two a year that you couldn't like pick up if
Yeah.
without the NFL package or whatever. But
Yeah. And so we had gone out to what's it called? Breakaway Twos
no, just
to
regular breakaways.
Oh, that's regular Breakaways. Breakaway 2's in Hagerstown. So we went to Breakaways to like grab lunch or whatever and watch the game and have a beer or two. We had just had a birthday party for Dakota the day before. So the kids had all kinds of leftover food at the house. They were all chilling there. And I knew that Anth was with his friends. So I was like, let me just give him a call and see if he wants to come eat with us before he goes and gets into whatever he was getting into that night. Now, during this time, he was staying with his grandmother at his great grandparents' house. I don't think we told that the last part of the story. So even though me and his grandmother had custody of him at the time, since we didn't live at the same house any longer because Scott and I had moved in together, she kept custody of Anthony for school reasons and all that at her house. So, um, I called him and I was like, hey, do you want to come out and have dinner with us? We're at Breakaways. You can, we'll order you food or whatever before you go do whatever you're doing for the night. We're watching the game. And he said, I would like to, but I promised my girlfriend that I would take her out they were supposed to go to Applebee's that night. I do not know what happened there. But he was supposed to take his girlfriend to Applebee's and he was like, so, unless it was, it could have been just a fib, but
Right. I mean, that's certainly possible. But it
But
doesn't
he was
matter. That's
also usually
irrelevant.
honest. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
irrelevant to the story. And he was also very honest with us normally. But either way, it wasn't like I remember feeling like okay, maybe he's being a normal teenager. Like, this is good. Like, I had a good feeling about that part of it. So then I think I did get one text after that, and I'll have to go back and look because I feel like somebody texted me and said there was about to be drama at our house. Do you remember that? Somebody was supposed to be up sitting
Uh,
behind the garage when we lived on Price Avenue.
yeah,
A
I
bunch,
do kind of remember that happening, but I don't remember that being that same day. But it might have
yeah,
been. I don't know.
or it had just happened before that or something like that. But
Yeah,
there
I
was
think
some
maybe.
drama with him and the kids, like Bobby and them. It was nothing
Well,
serious.
right. And if you remember, though, his friends came over to the house
Yeah.
before, like after the game when we got home. When he was, remember, it was three of them. I couldn't tell you who. Tony? Does
BK,
that Tony?
was it?
Does that say?
Well, Tony was there. Was it
Yeah.
BK? Maybe.
I have no idea. I just remember Tony. I thought Bobby was there too.
Yeah, it might have been.
Thought it was
But anyways,
Bobby, Tony. Yeah.
a couple of the kids had stopped by the house because, again, the girls, well, not Dakota because she was probably in her room, but Olivia was out back. They were like finishing off the birthday cake from the day before. A couple of the kids were hanging out in the backyard, just chilling. That's what I remember. A couple of them were teenagers. Um, So we had gotten a quarter of mushrooms from a friend of a friend at the bar, which we were going to save for the following weekend. But I didn't know the person who we got them off of. So I wanted to like take a nibble, to see if they were any good, or I just wanted to get high. I don't remember. But I knew that we didn't want to do enough to get dosed because we had to go to work the next morning, right?
Mhm.
But we just wanted to try it. Um, so uh, I don't think that I told this part of the story last time either. But if you remember, it was you had run upstairs. So we we got high, we took the nibble and I turned on something on the TV to watch that we were going to try to watch. It might have been Fear and Loathing. I don't remember. We always try different shit. And you ran upstairs, and I even remember calling up to you, "Hey, can you bring my inhaler down? I can't breathe." Right? Like I was like my chest was heavy and I couldn't breathe. And it was around 8 something whenever that happened, which plays in later, right? So I hit my inhaler, and sometimes when I can't breathe, it's asthma. Sometimes it's a panic attack, and I never know which one. So I just hit the inhaler, right? So we were tripping a little bit, not too much, just enough, right? Like I don't know what you would
Oh
say
no,
about
we
that.
were tripping. I mean, it was like, but was it just a light, happy buzz?
Yeah, it was that feel like if you microdose on like a chocolate bar or something like that, those what like it
You were happy. You definitely felt it, but you weren't like crazy.
right. There was no like it wasn't a full deep on like it's like
Yeah.
sleep. It wasn't like REM sleep, but it was like the stage before that or whatever. So or I don't know the stages. I just probably messed up that whole analogy, but you get what I'm saying. So when we went upstairs to go to bed, I don't know why I was thinking about this. That's because I don't remember any drama. I think I was just kind of sad that Anth didn't come out with us, maybe because I wanted to spend time with him. But when we were laying there, the things that jumped out to me were, again, you were rubbing my back. So my back was to you. You were rubbing my back. And I distinctly remember thinking to myself that your hands felt really, really big, like bigger than they should have been. And I just attributed that to being high. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
just thought,
Yeah,
oh.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those weird things.
And then the other piece of that was that as I was like slowly like starting to drift away into sleep, I consciously, like I remember consciously talking to Big Anthony, who at the time was already, deceased. And I
Right.
said to him, I was like, what are we going to do with our boy? He needs some behavioral things. Like it was something about how are we going to handle this? What are we going to do with this boy of ours?
Well,
And
I
I said
also
it.
don't.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I also don't know if you remember, but we had just recently been out at his grave and you basically had the same conversation. Because I don't know if you remember, is like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just a couple weeks prior to that. I don't know if you
I mean,
remember
that
that.
tracks, but I don't remember
Yeah,
those
yeah,
highlight
yeah.
reels.
Yeah, we did.
Only
We
the
saw.
highlight reels remain
But
from
that
those
was
years.
exactly what you were talking about. Yep.
And so while I was drifting, I could feel like a touch on my foot, like somebody had grabbed my foot. And in my mind, I woke up, but I know I didn't. Like, now I know. And I could see Anth. And it wasn't Big Anth from a picture. It wasn't Big Anth from his funeral. It was Big Anth in an outfit that I had only seen him in like once or twice. It was like the heavy cargo shorts that are all floppy, just like the ones that you just finally got rid of. So the cargo shorts with all the pockets already poofed out because he'd been wearing them 100 times. They were sagging. I could see his boxer shorts. I could see the t-shirt that he was wearing. His hair was longer, like when he was younger. So it wasn't like the hair that he had when he died. And he was like rubbing my foot and he was like, "Don't worry, mama, I got this." And mama was what he called me, right? So then, like, it could have been 10 minutes. It could have been a half hour. I don't even know what it was, but
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
we got a phone call and we know what that was. Um, did I say out loud to you that your hands felt big to me, or did I say that
I
after the
think
fact?
after the fact, yeah. I mean, and now that raises an interesting point. I think you did say it at the time, but I don't think you made any kind of connection with any sort of
To
thing. Like, you
myself,
didn't think anything weird was going on. You were just like, your hands feel giant or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
ginormous.
just,
Yeah,
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 whatever. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't some like moment where we're like, whoa, it was just in passing, your hands feel, because then we talked about it later, of course, but at that time.
yeah. And so then, of course, like we went up and we found out that he died. And I'm not going to go through that whole piece because,
Yeah,
again,
no,
like
that's
that whole probably week for me is a lost memory. And I don't know if anybody can actually recall those moments of something like that. My body has been in fight or flight mode since I was probably 18 months old. So I block things out as soon as I process them in all of those types of situations. So I don't, all I know is that there was no, like, from me, if anybody holds any like sadness or guilt because they were not there or because they didn't say or do the right things, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who
nobody
was
would ever
there.
know.
There are
Nobody would
people who
ever
signed
know.
the guest book that I don't fucking know who they are. I'll never know who they are. There's people I don't, people were like, "Don't you remember?" I said, "No, I don't." So,
I mean, there
yeah,
was 1,000 people there,
yeah, yeah,
literally.
it was
So, I mean, there's no way. Like,
incredible.
I mean, just at the funeral, I'm saying, but like, like you said, everything's just a blow, because and even I don't really remember. I mean, I remember little bits and pieces of like specific stuff, like how I remember stupid stuff, but like as far as like the overall progression of the week or anything, I don't remember any of that.
None of it. And so, yeah, like during that time, so one of the things that I kind of feel bad about is that I didn't let some more of the kids in my heart, not in the house.
Right, right,
Um,
right, right. No, they were definitely at our house, whether we want them to be or not.
hold on.
That's okay, babe.
Well, because we found out yesterday that another one of the kids that are in that group died. And we don't know all the details yet, so I'm not going to say anything about it other than to say that she
Well,
was part of that crew.
and that we've buried way too many of these kids way too
Way too
early.
many.
So
Yeah.
many. I mean, an ungodly amount from that group of kids.
To the point
But
where I'm researching the statistics right now to see if it's too high because I've never, like,
well,
I don't remember that many kids that I went to high school dying with right within the 10 years of graduation.
no, I don't either. And I think, I mean, but here's also like for all those ones where it didn't happen a lot, there's going to be ones where it did. You know what I mean? Like, so, and this just happens to be one of those groups. And I mean, it's a combination of things. I mean, a lot of it was drugs for some of these kids. You know what I mean? Not
I mean, the one
all.
yesterday wasn't, but yeah,
No,
some,
no,
I
I'm
mean,
not saying that, but I'm saying some of the prior ones before that had to
yeah,
do with drugs. So, and that's more prevalent now than it was, back in the
yeah,
day. So that certainly is part of it. But even taking that out of the equation, there's an ungodly amount because, like you said,
yeah,
the one yesterday, there. I mean, there's been a bunch that have been very, very not
yeah.
suspicious, but it's weird that this has happened.
And so, and I think probably part of the story too, I mean, some of the listeners probably already know this, but I'm not from that town. I'm not from Waynesboro. I'm from Johnstown, right?
Right.
So when I got to Waynesboro, I was, like I said, I had just literally turned 18, like the week that I got there. And I met a lot of people, a lot of good people. So even though I didn't go to high
Right.
school there, like I'm friends with most of these kids' parents. I know them, right?
You got
They,
there when you were still a kid, basically. I mean, you were an
yeah,
adult technically, but you were a teenager. You still got to know the quote unquote kids that are these kids,
yeah,
these people's children now.
yeah. And obviously, I mean, I didn't marry into the family, but his family, the Barlups, adopted me in. And so,
I did.
and they adopted you. You married into the Barlops, essentially. And they, I mean, but they are connected to the entire town in some way, shape, or form. So, like, I walked into a family that was highly like connected with the community. So I mean, and obviously I'm still close to a lot of people to this day through that one connection of Big Anth. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, they
shout out
are
to
our
Danny.
family. They are
Yeah,
our
shout out to
family.
Danny
I
coming out
mean,
for my birthday, right? Like he came up. That was Big Anth's absolute hands down best friend of all time ever. You know what I mean? So um
and it speaks volumes to me too, and I think to other people too, the way that they've embraced me. You know what I mean? Like they treat me as if you're their daughter and I'm married to you. You know what I mean? Like I'm part
yeah,
of their family, like as much as any other family.
yeah, yeah. Well,
They
and they recognize too that like I mean, you can never go back, obviously, but had Big
sure,
Anth lived and we had not, and we had stayed apart, which there's a high likelihood that Big Anth and I would have never gotten back together, but we would have remained very good friends.
sure,
You
sure,
guys
of
would have been
course.
friends. Like you
Right, I
guys would
have
have
no doubt.
definitely been friends.
Right, I can certainly see that playing out like that. Like you guys would have been cool. We'd have been. It would have been the same. Just he'd be when at the Bartlett stuff
Yeah,
when we
and then
go.
I could have found him a much better girlfriend than the shit ass one he had back then, but whatever.
Well,
So So then we've talked about this several times, so I don't want to say the whole story because we're already in an hour and I want to actually talk about some of the paranormal shit that happened. So after his funeral, we did take mushrooms to heal. I mean,
as a healing process. For those, and I mean, those very familiar, this is why they're being investigated in the United States and legalized in some states because their medicinal properties, especially for psychotherapy, are unreal in terms of the results that they see. And I mean, we're a living testament to that. That was like sort of what helped us get over the hump. Now, we did eat quite a bit more that second go round. And it was a spiritual experience. We were standing in the dining room, laughing for a minute, and then we're just like holding each other, crying for 30 seconds, laughing for 30 seconds, crying for 30 seconds, laughing for 30. Like, it was intense. Like, it was very intense, but it was very healing, and we both felt very, very good after it. I know that helped both of us. I mean, you had
yeah,
more to
it
go
did.
through than me, but it definitely, I mean, it sort of helped clear the air, I guess.
Yeah, it cleared a lot of the negative space that I'd been holding on to for being a shitty mom, for not being able to like handle his behavior, for not
Right.
being at a place like I'm at a much better listening place now as an adult than I was trying to manage two wild teenagers in Dakota because she was never wild. She was just there, right? So for me, so yeah, I mean, it cleared some history with it cleared a lot of shit for me. Like there was a lot of healing, and me and his uncle, even Tim, we healed after that because he was there when Big Anth shot him. Not there, he showed up
Right.
and
Yeah,
found Big Anth, right? So
right.
there has been so much trauma bonding with that family that like I'll always have that connection with them. But we have the fucking best times too, right? Like
Yep.
the best times with that family. Like it's
Yeah, it's
not
not
all
like
doom and gloom.
no, it's not doom and gloom at all. The majority of,
Ever.
I don't think of it like that. Like you would think that that would be like every time you see him, it has zero. We don't even talk or think about that most of the time unless it's in like a good memory. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's to, you know what I mean? Whatever. Or you remember when this happened or whatever. But it's nobody dwells on it. And the family is just wonderful. And when we see him, it's just we're not. It's not a doom and gloom at all. It's all always good times, always a lot of love and laughter, and
Yes.
yeah, I mean they're full
Which
of it.
they are, which also helped shape my son's personality, right? Um,
Right? Sure.
so so after we took the mushrooms and healed, there was a long period. I mean, obviously that didn't fix us, right? There you and I were still going through some shit. The girls had some heavy things to deal with that they couldn't just take mushrooms and deal with. They were like
Right.
9 and 15, right?
There was
So
a lot
10.
more living left to do after that, and a lot more
Yeah.
life that happened, and nobody ended. It wasn't just like that happened, and then it's like sunny roses the rest of the way. It's that that's just one
No.
part of the story, and we're not going down any of those other roads today. But
No.
it's been, you know what I mean? Like this is just about celebrating him,
Yes.
and
But so how does that tie into the paranormal aspect? Because obviously, like we said earlier, when he was alive, he loved to go to all these places. And we have video and pictures and whatever of all these places doing that with him. And we resurrected this journey just out of the blue. I don't think it had anything to do with him. And as I was getting
no,
the episode ready, there were so many points where like
we're
it
still talking
it
about a lot of this stuff.
yeah,
Even right
yeah.
now, even though it may not have been directly tied to what we were talking about, wasn't directly tied to him, but he has a tie to all those things. Even to like,
Yeah.
I forgot that he went up the one night. Remember when he stayed up at Graham's with me, and Graham was telling him stories. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? So he got to hear some of my grandma's story, which, if you know, they're legendary.
Yes.
And yeah, if you got to hear some grandma read ghost stories, bud, that's about. And he was like totally intrigued. You know what I mean? Um, because she would have. I mean, she did probably talk all night about it. But I remember telling him about Miller's Church and Devil Bill, and um, I mean, I'm sure there was more. I don't know them off the top of my head, but
So the the story that jumps out the most to me though after, because like during when he was alive and we were going ghost hunting, it was just fun. It was just us with teenagers acting like fools. They're getting scared. We're getting a crack out of it. And
was there any
again,
real
it was
ghost hunting going on? Probably not. But it was
probably
fun
not.
to talk about
It was,
and do. Yeah.
and to get them ramped up to be scared.
That's what
That
it
was
is.
the
It's
fun.
about their reaction. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
And it was and it was so fun. And like I said, we have pictures and all. There's so many good pictures of like orbs and stuff like that. But I think that imprinted when he left, which is what I'm getting at. So I'm going to tell a quick story about Miller's Church, and then I really want you to tell the story of Anthony and Anthony to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Yep.
So for Miller's Church Road, after Anth had passed away, it was quite a few years after, Scott and I were just out one night driving around. It was during an emotionally heightened time in our lives, which, if you know anything about paranormal, it usually is attached to heightened emotion, right? So I won't discount it or count it one way or the other. All I'll say is that we pulled up to Miller's Church. The cemetery would have been on our right, so on the passenger side of the car. And we were just sitting idle there, just, kind of listening. And I think something scared us and we decided to pull away, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember what it was, but
It
we
was
pulled
a
off for some
noise, but it
reason.
wasn't like, it was
It
a
might
noise, but
be.
it wasn't like a spook.
I was gonna say it
Or
might have
maybe we
even been
felt
the
right.
neighbors kicked a light on or something. You know what I mean? So we're like, maybe we need to get out of here. Something like that, I think, is what triggered us
Yes, but
to
you had
leave.
pulled down like around the bend to the flat,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Where
And
that farm field is, yeah.
and you were just sitting there for a minute. And at that very moment, it was like I got a flash. I could see somebody sitting in the back seat through the side mirror. And I don't know exactly how it happened, but one of us heard something, but I felt the kick in the back of my seat, like somebody's big ass
Mm-hmm.
knee just hit the back of my seat. And at the same time, we heard something. So I put my hand back there to feel, and there were cans on the floor, like empty cans. It was like somebody kicked the cans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just as I felt the knee print, and the only person in our lives who had that big of a stature to hit the back of the seat with a knee print would have been Anth.
Well, and he always was riding like backseat shotgun, like in the middle, kind of like because
Right.
he took up
Sprawl
the seat.
out, spread
Yeah,
eagle.
he took
Yeah.
up the seat. So it was very reminiscent of that. And that's
It
ironic
felt like an
because,
Anthony move.
yeah, and that's what brings us, that's what's crazy about is I think that that happened right after the story that I'm about to tell happened.
It did. It was within probably 10
Within
days.
within a couple of weeks. Yep. Because that was right, like at the time, all that's going on. You know what I mean? Um, and so then this goes back to, as you know, we've talked about this on previous episodes. I used to be an addict. It caused problems in our life, and there was a time where it was like a breaking point. You know what I mean? And but I got clean, and this is right about the time that this is happening. This is shortly, I think, right after I'd come back home from that little weird like rehab gone
Yeah,
away thing,
it definitely was.
and so. And one of the things, and we were like not living together, like right at the time. And I was staying with a friend of mine, and one of his part-time jobs, he had two jobs, and during the day he worked, but at night I would help him because he delivered papers like early in the morning. So I would help him, you know what I mean? Because it was easier with two people. So I would give him a hand, and he would throw me a couple bucks for helping him. And we were out near Pond Bank. Now, unbeknownst to my friend, Pond Bank was one of Anth's favorite. Well, not only did he like to go there for like just goofing around paranormal, because there's a little local legend about the lady in white. You know what? It's just a little. It's nothing crazy. It's just a little local legend, and people talk about this white lady of Pond Bank. And he had been out, but they also have like a pond there, so you can fish and stuff. So like he liked that side of it too. So and we had gone fishing there, and we had gone there at night doing like paranormal stuff. And my friend knows nothing of this, but this is just one of the memories that I had with Anthony. And my friend and I are back on this one road. And we had never talked about anything like that. I barely knew the guy, to be honest with you. Like, I worked with him prior to that, and then like we just kind of bonded. But and he helped me out, and I mean, it's crazy, but we're on this back road. He knows nothing of my life, no, a little bit, but not like anything about Anthony or anything like that. Like he has, he knows that I was addicted. He knows that I used to work with him. He knows that I'm married, but he doesn't know any kind of backstory. That's important that he doesn't know any of
It's
this.
very important. Yes.
And so we get back there where it's early. I don't know. Middle of the night, 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. I don't know, but somewhere in that neighborhood. It wasn't right at midnight, and it wasn't, later on in the morning, middle of the night. And we get back, and we get back to the pond bank, and we're back on this one dirt road where we had to go take the one newspaper. And he's like, I don't want to spook you. Or I don't know how he brought it up, but it was like, I don't want to sound weird. I don't want to, scare you. He said, but, he said, he said, how did he say it? I wish I could remember the exact wording. I'm what they call a psychic medium. Do you know what that is? And that's how much he doesn't know me. Because if you know me, you clearly know that I know what that is. And I was like,
Right.
sure, of course I know what that is. And he's like, well, he's like, I see things. He's like, and he's like, this area back here is very, whatever he said, I don't remember specifically. But he's like, there's somebody sitting in the back seat of the car. And he's like, and he just keeps telling me that we have something in common. And that's when it hit me. Oh, crap, though. A song came on the radio. What song came on? Remember I told you the radio cut out and the song changed? But I don't remember what came on. That's a damn it. That's a detail.
Was it
It
Ripple?
wasn't Ripple. It wasn't Ripple. That's what my first instinct was.
And it wasn't Fishing in the Dark.
I don't think so. It doesn't matter. Regardless, the radio changed. You know what I mean? To a song that
Because I remember that Anthony said that was because he was playing a playlist, and he said that song hadn't come up in his playlist in a long time.
Yeah, I know. It might have been Ripple, and maybe I'm just maybe I'm thinking that I'm conflating that with the other story, and I'm not. But regardless, that doesn't matter. That's not the important part to the story.
It was a meaningful song to you at the time.
And the radio cut out. Like, it was just very weird. It was something happened with the radio, and it immediately started playing this song. And I should also mention, too, that...
Oh, wait, was it Sublime?
It might have been. It might have been Sublime. I don't remember. I just remember it had a connection to the moment and to that. And, like, that's what clued me in. Like, this is what's happening. But the part that I think you forgot about, I think Fishing in the Dark played when we were that Miller's Church road trip that we're talking about. When you saw him in the back seat, I think that came on like right after that. And that's when we knew.
Because
that's when we knew. We were like, yeah, that was definitely him, because it was like this thing happened and then Fishing in the Dark comes on. Or it might have even happened slightly before that and then that happened.
Right.
I don't remember the order.
It wasn't my playlist because
it was just the regular radio.
At the time, I had a CD player still in my car, and I did play his funeral CD a lot, but this wasn't that. This was just radio play, not just even serious FM, just radio.
Right, just regular 97.6.
Pop rocks.
You know, whatever it was. I don't know.
WAYZ, whatever.
But still, it was random. That's the point of both of these, is they weren't like, it wasn't like we had our list on there and that pop. That wouldn't be, we wouldn't act that way about that. I wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, back to the story at hand. He sees this guy, my friend sees this guy in the back seat. He's like, he's telling me that he has something in common with him. Like I said, the radio thing happened. I start to put it all together because I didn't necessarily hit me right away.
It had been a while
And
since he had passed. I mean,
yeah, this was like 5, 6, 7 years later, right?
yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So this is not something that was, it's not like it was fresh and just heavy on our minds. This is totally out of the situation and just completely random, like of the person that I know that's saying this. And then it dawns on me, my friend's name is Anthony too, the psychic medium. And I was like, and then like I said, I started to put all this together. The song, him saying this, saying they have something in common. And I was like, dude, I got to tell you something. And that's when and then he was freaked out too, of course. But I mean, you talk about and it was and then followed up by what we experienced. It was like very much, that was a time in our lives when he was very near. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
He
Like he
was.
was right there. Like I don't think that our, whatever, like hang around all the time watching us like supervisors, but they're there when we need us. And that was a time that we were like going through some stuff and he was right there. The veil was thin at that time.
Yeah, yeah. As it always is when there's emotional turmoil. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just all there is to say about it.
sure.
Um,
100%.
but yeah, so he would have been 30 last year, 31
That's
this year on May
insane.
23rd. I know. I feel so fucking old.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I mean, he's just so loved. There's so many of his friends that still, talk about him to this day, keep him in their memories. Obviously, his cousins, I'm still very close with them. My nephews, they're my boys, always will be. But yeah.
What amazes me is everybody experiences death of one of their like friends and school, like that you went to school with or whatever. But I mean, most, I should not every, but most kids go through that at one time or another. The loss of a friend, somebody, a peer for the first time or
Hmm.
whatever. But usually time passes and those kids forget about it, but not and they still, as adults, you know what I mean? Every year mention it, you know what I mean? They don't never forget, never forget, but they don't forget. Do you
Anthony
know what
Ray
I mean?
Barlup.
Like
Yeah,
they
they
don't
don't.
forget.
They're so good. And that's why I feel bad. Like I said, I know I cut it off earlier with my emotion, but I'm gathered now. I feel bad about not being closer to some of them. Now, it's not like they all needed moms. It's not like he ran with a rowdy
No,
bunch that I mean, Waynesboro, for the most part, all the kids have decent parents. Like they might be struggling in one area or another. But I mean, I'm not going to say
sure.
there's not any shit parents in Waynesboro. But what I'm saying is, from my experience, the kids that all three of my kids went to high school with, all their parents were pretty good, like
Yeah,
decent, just
yeah.
hardworking,
It's
normal
not
American,
Johnstown.
trying to no, no,
Not
no.
by any
Those
means.
kids really, no, I laugh because all those boys, all those rural, because Waynesboro's the suburbs, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
semi-rural. It's a
rural.
mixture of
Yeah.
rural. I can't say that word, but rural. It sounds like I'm really, I don't know. But those boys wanted to be thug though. They wanted to be hood. They wanted to be
Oh, they
city.
all
It
want to
was
try to be.
hilarious.
They all
It
try to be.
cracked me up to no, and I love it. But anyways, here's to Chubby. May he long reign in heaven and welcome every one of his friends who happen to be popping up there with open arms. And it's 15 years, so I probably am going to try not to talk about it again until maybe 20. But he's going to be looking over us a lot over the next couple of years,
Yep.
and more to come on that because again,
Those that
the
need to
things that
know,
we can't
know.
talk about. Yeah.
Those that know, know.
But that blessing that we have coming is a visual reminder of him.
Yes. Yep.
So
Yep.
anywho, so
That's exactly right.
I'm getting emotional again. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks, and by then we will have done a whole rack of comedy shit, a whole
We're going to
rack
talk about
of
some of the,
paranormal.
yeah, we were just talking about Miller's Church. We're going back. Will Anthony show up in the back
We're
seat? We
going
don't
back,
know.
baby.
We'll find out. So, yeah. So, like, some of the things that we talked about, we're going to rehash, not from that angle, but just from a historical
Yeah.
perspective. It's
Yeah.
very faithful.
Yeah. And we'll be out. I want to go out to his grave this weekend. So we'll be out there. Yeah, Miller's Church. I'm trying to think if there's anything else around there that I want to hit up. But
Yeah,
anyways,
we can discuss
that's
that.
all I got.
Yep. September
That's all I
13th,
got.
get your ass to Altoona. Come to my comedy show.
Oh,
Come out.
yeah. Yes.
Raindrop in. Raindrop in September 27th. Come on out. October 12th. Come on back up to Altoona. October 18th. Come to Johnstown. It's happening. It's going down. I'm pumped.
Boom. And if nobody's told you bitches today,
Stay trashy.
that's it.
On the road, hit the gas, no map in sight. Cracking jokes in diners under neon lights. Mic in one hand, truth in the backseat. Grit, wit, and stories that you can't beat. Gilded trash, we shine in the grime. Turn small town nights into prime time rhymes. Laughter's our compass, heart's the dash. We ride shotgun, living loud, making a splash. Midnight bites, we spilling tea under motel lights. Cornbread comedy, sweet with spice. Feeling like home, but twice as nice. New Year's tears, late night fears. We laugh till we cry, shifting gears from coast to coast. It's never the same, but every small town knows our name. Gilded trash, we shine in the grime. Turn small town nights into prime time rhymes. Laughter's our compass, heart's the dash. We ride shotgun, living loud, making a splash. So buckle up, y'all, it's a hell of a ride. Scott and Alanna got nothing to hide. From the gold to the garbage, we bring the sass. Welcome aboard, this is Yinz.